Jai Hind, dear students. Today we are moving to the next chapter in Business Studies class 12, that is Financial Management. Financial Management, very important chapter. We can expect essay type questions from the board exam. From this chapter, we can expect. Okay, so we are moving to the first concept. What is financial management? In the beginning of our classes, we have learned what is management. But here we have to learn how to manage the funds of an organization. So, you know very well, finance is the lifeblood of an organization. Funds are the lifeblood of an organization that controls the whole activity of an organization. So financial management involves the management of fund in an organization coming from various sources. You know very well the sources of finance that you have learned in the class 11, and it includes a lot of sources summarized into owners fund and borrowed fund. Management of all that fund in an effective manner is known as financial management. So financial management includes those business activities that are concerned with acquisition and conservation of capital funds in meeting the financial needs and overall objective of the business enterprise. Financial management involves the acquisition. Acquisition means collection of funds from various sources. Conservation of the funds. Conservation means using only for important matters, needy purposes, and the financial needs must be satisfied in an effective manner. Through that way, we have to achieve the organizational objectives also. So, financial management is the management of funds coming to an organization in an effective manner. That is financial management. So, we have to learn more about why it is needed. What are the different objectives of financial management in an organization? And what is done by a financial manager in an organization? So the first point that shows the objectives of financial management is profit maximization. So only through the effective utilization of funds in an organization, we can manage, or increase, maximize the amount of profit. Profit is the measuring technique to understand the efficiency of business. The finance manager tries to earn maximum profit for the company in the short term and long term. So only through the effective utilization of funds by finance manager, he can maximize maximum profit for the organization. So that is the ultimate aim of financial management. Do not waste a single rupee for unnecessary activity. So only through financial management, proper financial management, profit can be maximized. Second point that shows the objective of financial management is wealth maximization. Remember the points: wealth maximization. So every business organization wants to grow by earning maximum profit and surviving in the market for a long period. So the finance manager tries to earn maximum wealth through efficient utilization of funds. Wealth maximization is another objective to earn maximum wealth for the shareholders. Shareholders are the owners. So the finance manager tries to give maximum dividend to the shareholder. So one of the important decision coming in financing management is dividend decision. So how much amount of wealth is maximized? It is indicated through the number of or the amount of dividend distributed to the shareholders. So wealth maximization is another objective of financial management. The next one point, proper estimation of total financial requirements. It is one of the important function of financial manager to find out or to estimate the total financial requirement of an organization during a period. Then only he can approach the various sources to collect the needed fund, maybe from owner's fund or from borrowed fund. So proper estimation of total financial requirements is a very important objective of financial management. The financial manager must estimate the total financial requirements of the company. What is the amount of fund needed for the organization, maybe during the month or during the whole year. The finance manager must find out the fixed capital and working capital requirements. You know very well, fixed capital requirements means the amount needed for purchasing and installing fixed asset. And working capital requirement means the amount needed to meet the day-to-day operation. So that is the two type of requirements, fixed capital requirement and working capital requirement needed to run the organization. It is the duty of the finance manager to estimate the funds requirements. Another one is proper mobilization. Proper mobilization means proper mobilization of funds. So only with a responsible finance manager, we can efficiently collect or mobilize the important amount of money needed for the organization. Mobilization of finance is an important objective of financial management. After estimating the financial requirements, the financial manager must decide about the sources of finance and collects fund from different sources, maybe by issuing debenture, share, or by collecting from bank loan or any other financial institution in the form of loans. So another objective of financial management is proper mobilization of funds needed for the organization. Hope these points are very clear for you. Next point shows the objective of financial management is to prepare capital structure of the organization. So only with the proper management, systematic management of funds coming to an organization, we can create a good capital structure. Capital structure means it shows the structural arrangement of borrowed fund and owner's fund. Means every organization have different sources of funds. The capital structure only shows from which source the fund is collected for the organization. So, financial management helps for the preparation of capital structure, and this structure decides the ratio between owner's finance and borrowed finance. It brings a balance between the different sources of capital. So, you know very well, some sources have some limitation and some have positive effects. So we can limit those type of sources which is harmful for the organization only through proper financial management and by drawing a good capital structure. And the next point is maintaining proper cash flow. As a commerce student, you know very well, in accountancy you have learned how to prepare the cash flow statement. Cash flow may be inflow or outflow of cash. So only through the proper management of funds, we can use the cash effectively, and it will help for maintaining a proper cash flow, maybe a good cash inflow and a limited cash outflow. So maintaining cash flow is a short-term objective of financial management. The company must have a proper cash flow to pay the day-to-day expenses such as purchase of raw material, payment of wages, salary for the workers, rent for the building, machinery, etc., electricity bill, etc. So a healthy cash flow improves the chances of survival and success of the company. The organization having maximum cash inflow and minimum cash outflow can survive in the market. So another objective of financial management is maintaining proper cash flow of the organization. And another thing we have to remember, that is proper coordination. Proper coordination means proper coordination of the flow of cash. Here, only through the effective working of finance department under finance manager can make or coordinate the effort of all other department in an organization. You know very well, finance management in government also, the finance ministries distributing the amount of money needed for all other departments through the budgets. Here in a business organization also, the finance manager have to coordinate all other departments' effort through the proper distribution of funds to the workers. So only through proper financial management we can coordinate the efforts of different departments. And the next objective is to increase the efficiency of the organization. Financial management every time helps to increase the efficiency of utilization of funds through proper management and the disbursement of funds. Financial management also tries to increase the efficiency of all departments of the company through proper distribution of finance to all departments, which will increase the efficiency of the entire organization. So, it is another objective of financial management to increase the efficiency of the different department as well as the whole organization. Every time, by maintaining a good financial discipline, we can achieve the organizational objectives maximum. So financial discipline shows how to utilize the funds effectively by which is collected through the different sources. Financial management also tries to create a financial discipline, which means to invest the finance only in productive areas. This will bring high return to the company. You know very well, when we are investing the funds collected from various sources in productive ventures, then we will get a good result. So it is a part of financial discipline. We have to plan it very well and we have to invest the money in productive areas. And the second point indicates to avoid the wastage and misuse of finance, financial discipline is needed. So financial discipline includes using money in productive areas and also avoiding the wastage of money and misuse of fund by other parties related to the business. That is financial discipline. And the last point which indicates the objective of financial management is it has to reduce the cost of capital. It has to reduce the cost of capital. You know very well, some source of funds requires more amount of money, more cost, financial cost, capital cost we can say. So financial management always tries to reduce the cost of capital. This is to try the borrow money at a lower rate. Sometimes borrowed fund requires only few amount of money to be spent for collecting from various sources. So the finance manager must plan the capital structure in such a way that cost of capital may be minimized. Cost of capital means the amount of money spent for raising funds. The amount of money spent for raising funds. So dear students, these are the objectives of financial management. And in the next section, we are going to learn about the three important decisions related to financial management, and it's taken by the financial manager. So the important financial decisions taken by the management include three important decisions: investment decision, dividend decision, and financing decision. Financing decision is the decision taken by the finance manager regarding the collection and utilization of funds in an organization. So it includes three important decisions: investment decision, dividend decision, and financing decision. So we have to learn what is investing decision, what are the different factors related to investment decision, what is dividend decision. There also we have to learn what are the different factors to be considered while taking dividend decision, financing decision. There also we have to learn what are the factors we have to consider while taking financing decision. So the first one is investment decision. You know very well, the funds collected from various sources are invested in the organization. But the finance manager decides where we have to invest the fund. So only in productive ventures we have to invest the fund, but it depends upon the investment decision taken by the finance manager. So we have scarcity in financial resources. So the firm must choose where to invest to earn maximum profit by the organization. Investment decision relates to the decision about how the firm's funds are invested in different assets, that is, in different investment proposals. You know very well, we have two major category of asset, that is non-current asset and current asset. Whatever it may be, the amount collected from various sources can be utilized maybe for purchasing fixed asset or for meeting the working capital, the day-to-day expenses of the organization. So it depends upon the investment decision. So it includes two subdivisions like a capital budgeting decision and a working capital decision. Capital budgeting decision and a working capital decision. So capital budgeting decision is related to long-term investment decision. You know very well, in an organization, amount is invested for a long term in the form of building, land, machinery, equipments, vehicles. So we can say capital budgeting decision is related to the investment of funds in fixed asset, in non-current asset, that is long-term investment decision. And working capital decision is related to short-term investment decision. That means what is the amount can be taken for meeting the day-to-day operation. So every organization is getting some amount of money from various sources, but only through the proper investment decision. The finance manager is taking a decision how much amount can be taken for capital budgeting decision or as fixed purchasing fixed asset, or how much amount from the total capital can be utilized for meeting the day-to-day expenses. That decision is known as investment decision. So remember these two categories. Then we have to look at the different factors affecting investment decision or capital budgeting decision. First one, every time we have to look at the cash flow of the project. Cash flow of the project means cash flow position of the organization. So every organization depends upon the cash inflow and outflow of the organization. They are taking the decision how much amount of money or the total fund can be utilized for purchasing fixed asset and for meeting the day-to-day expense. If the cash flow is very low, no need to invest in fixed asset that can be utilized for meeting the day-to-day operation. So the series of cash receipt and payments over the life of an investment proposal should be considered and analyzed for selecting the best proposal. So depending upon if the cash flow is more, they can utilize maximum for purchasing fixed asset. If it is very low, that can be utilized for meeting the working capital needs, day-to-day operations needs. So the first point is cash flow of the project. Second point, rate of return. You know very well, I have learned in the accountancy, rate of return on investment ratio. So some amount we are investing and we will get some amount of return. It depends upon some investment decision made by the finance manager. So it involves the expected return from each proposal and the risk involved in them should be taken into account to select the best proposal. So most probably the finance manager will choose a proposal or project which gives high rate of return, with less cost of capital. So we have to consider the factor rate of return while investing money in the organization. And the last point is investment criteria involved. investment criteria involved in the organization. So the various investment proposals are evaluated on the basis of capital budgeting techniques. Capital budgeting techniques. This involves calculations regarding investment amount, the interest rate, cash flows, rate of return, etc. So only by calculating all these values, value of the amount of investment, then the interest rate we have to pay for the items like a debenture and bank loan, and what is the amount of cash flow of the organization, and also what is the expected rate of return. Depending upon all these factors, we have to take the investment decision. This is regarding what is investment decision, one of the important decision taken by the finance manager. We are moving to the next important decision related to the financial management, that is financing decision. Financing decision. How to utilize the money? How to utilize the money? That is financing decision. This decision is about the quantum of finance to be raised from various long-term sources. So financing decision is related to the collection of funds from various sources. You know very well, two important sources of funds are owner's fund and borrowed fund. So here the manager can take the decision in which source, from which source they can take the money. So it involves identification of the various sources available, and the main source of funds for a firm are shareholders fund and borrowed fund. Shareholders fund, otherwise we can say equity or owners fund, and borrowed fund include banks, loans from banks, debentures, public deposit, etc. So the financing decision is related to how much amount of money have to be raised from various sources. So we have to learn the different factors influencing the financing decision. First one is cost. You know very well, we have to pay some amount as expense for raising funds. Depending upon the cost of capital, we are selecting on source of finance, and every time the management will choose the source having less cost. So the cost of raising funds from different sources are very important, and it is different. We will choose the cheapest source for collecting funds for the organization. So the cost of capital is the first factor related to financing decision. Second one is risk. Every fund, every source involves some level of risk, but the organization and the finance manager will choose the source of funds having less amount of risk. You know very well, different funds having different level of risk. The risk associated with the different source of funds are different. More risk is associated with the borrowed funds as compared to owner's fund. You know very well, we have to repay the interest on time, and also we have to repay the original amount, the fixed amount within the fixed period. Otherwise, it will affect the goodwill of the organization. Sometimes the organization will take the properties of the organization also, the business firm also. Bank will come and they will attach and seize the properties of the organization. So a lot of risk involved in different source of funds, and especially it is high in the case of borrowed funds. So we have to think about the risk factor. Then flotation cost. Flotation means the movement of cost. The cost involved in issuing security, such as brokers' commission, underwriters' fee, expense on properties, prospectus, etc., are called flotation cost. The cost involved in raising fund is known as flotation cost, and it involves maximum items like brokers' commission, underwriters' fee, expenses on prospectus, and these items are known as flotation cost. Higher the flotation cost, less attractive is the source of. If the flotation cost is higher, we will never depend upon that type of source of finance. Every time we will search for the source having less flotation cost. And the cash flow position of the business. Every time when we are searching for a better source of business finance, we have to consider what is the present cash flow position of the organization. So in case the cash flow position of a company is good enough, then it can be easily use borrowed fund and pay interest on time. If they are not getting proper cash flow and the amount of cash inflow is very less, so they have to depend upon owner's fund than borrowed fund. So cash flow position of the organization. Next important factor is control consideration. Control consideration. It is related to the change in ownership. So in case the existing shareholders want to retain the complete control of business, then finance can be raised through borrowed fund. Some shareholders are there. They're not at all interested to give their ownership to other parties. That type of people can choose borrowed funds than owners fund. Owners fund means instead of issuing shares, they can choose issuing debentures, collecting loans from the banks and private parties, and also collect funds from public. So that is the thing, control consideration. And the next point is state of capital market. You know very well, capital market is related to stock exchange where the financial instruments are bought and sold. You will learn in the next chapter about the whole thing, financial market. So we have to depend upon, we have to consider this factor also while raising funds, especially from the capital market. During boom period, finance can be easily be raised by issuing shares. But during the depression period of the business, raising finance may be by means of debt is very easy. Debt means through borrowed fund that is very good for the organization during the depression period. So remember, this is another point we have to consider while taking the financial decision. That is state of the capital market or the state of stock exchange. And the last point, last factor is related to financing decision. Period of finance. Period of finance. The maturity period. For permanent capital requirement, equity shares must be issued. Don't issue preference shares as they are not to be paid back, and for long and medium term requirement we can retain the amount of equity shareholders for a long period, maybe up to the end of the organization, winding up of the organization. But preference shares we have to repay at the end of the maturity period. So we have to consider this factor also. So these are the factors to be considered while we are taking financing decision. Dear students, we are moving to the third decision in the financial management. Dear students, the last important decision taken by the finance manager is that dividend decision. As you know very well, when you have learned the chapter sources of business finance, there you have learned the concept share. And you know very well what is the return for a shareholder in a business. Dividend is the return for the shareholder. Every time, every business people, those who want to invest in a company, they will check about what is the amount of dividend issued by that particular company. So it is also related to financial management. Another important decision taken by the financial manager is dividend decision. How much amount of money have to be distributed as dividend from the amount of profit during an year. So dividend decision, you know very well, dividend is the portion of profit, divisible profit that is distributed to the owners, maybe shareholder. Dividend decision is whether to distribute the earning to shareholders as dividend or retain earnings to finance long-term profit of the firm. So dividend decision indicates how much amount or whether the profit, some portion of the profit should be issued as dividend or may be retained in the organization for a long period. You know very well, retaining of earnings, retaining of profit is another source of raising finance. Whenever they need capital, it is the cheapest form of raising finance, retaining profit. When we are keeping a portion of the profit for the firm has capital. It is very easy to raise funds without spending a single rupee. So it must be done keeping in mind the firm's overall objective of maximizing shareholders' wealth. Shareholders' wealth. Every time the shareholders' wealth is increased whenever they are getting more and more dividend. So dividend decision is related to the decision how much amount should be divided and distributed as dividend from the part of the profit of the organization to the shareholders. So it includes some factors. We have to consider some factors when we are taking the dividend decision. The first one is the earnings of the firm. Companies having high and stable earning, stable means consistent, continuous earning, they can declare high rate of dividend as dividends are paid out of the current and past earnings. So they can issue high amount of dividend if they have high amount of earnings or profit. So depending upon the earnings, if the amount of earnings is very low, then they have to issue only less amount of dividend or no need to issue the amount of dividend. So depending upon the earnings, the dividends are issued to the shareholders. Second point, stability of dividends. Stability of dividend. So companies generally follow the policy of stable dividend. Stable means continuously declaring and paying dividend to the shareholders. Especially they have to pay fixed rate of dividend for the preference shareholders. The dividend as per share is not altered and changed in case of earnings change by small portion or increase in earnings is temporary in nature. So they have to issue stable amount of dividend. That is another factor. Growth prospects. Depending upon the growth plan, expansion plan of the organization, they can declare the dividend. In case there are growth prospects for the company in the near future, that it will retain its earnings and thus no or less dividend will be declared. The management is under a conclusion that they are having a good growth rate and they want to expand the business. At that time, the financial manager can take a decision. No need to issue dividend or less amount of dividend can be issued. It is only because they want to retain the earnings in the business to expand or for the future growth of the firm. So growth prospects always influences the dividend decision. Every time, in every decision, the cash flow position is involved. That point it is unavoidable. So dividends are declared upon the cash inflow and outflow. If outflow is more, no need to issue dividend. If inflow is more, they can issue more dividend. So dividend involves an outflow of cash and thus availability of adequate cash is more must requirement for declaration of dividend. If they are having more dividend, means more profit, then they can issue dividend. So always issue of dividend is also another form of cash outflow. So depending upon the cash flow position, inflow is more, then they can declare the amount of dividend to be paid for the shareholders. Then the next factor we have to consider preference of shareholders. Every time it must be considered while taking the dividend decision. We have to give special consideration for the shareholders and debenture holders. While deciding about the dividend, the preference of shareholder is also taken into consideration. In case shareholder desires for dividend, then company may go for declaring the same. The shareholders are demanding more amount of demand or they are in a decision, they need the dividend. At that time, the head of the organization have to or the board of directors have to declare the dividend. No need to restrict their decision. It will affect adversely the organization. So preference for the shareholders. Taxation policy, you know very well. depending upon the amount of dividend declared, they have to pay tax for the government. So we have to consider the taxation policy while declaring dividend. A company is required to pay tax on dividend declared by it. If tax on dividend is higher, company will prefer to pay less by way of dividend. Whereas if the tax rate is very low, more dividends can be declared by the company. So if the tax rate, you know very well, company have to pay tax for the amount of dividend declared during an year. So if the tax rate is very high, they can reduce the amount of dividend. And if the tax rate is very low, they can issue more amount of dividend. So we have to consider the taxation policy of the organization also. And another point, issue of bonus shares. You know very well what is bonus shares. So we have to consider the issue of bonus shares also. The additional shares issued for the existing shareholders is known as bonus share. So it is also another factor we have to consider when we are declaring the dividend. Companies with large reserves may also distribute bonus shares to increase their capital, and it stimulates the growth of the company and enhances its reputation also. You know very well, more and more investors are attracted in the form of shareholders only when they are declaring more dividend. They will stick on in the organization for a long time. It will be based on the dividend decision. And the last point, there are a lot of legal constraints, legal rules and regulations. We have to consider that also. So under provisions of the Companies Act, maybe 1956 or 2030, all the earnings cannot be distributed as dividend. And the company have to provide for various reserves. You know very well, general reserve, capital reserve, workman compensation reserve, investment fluctuation reserve. Lot of reserves are there. So depending upon the criteria or the rules, they have to declare the dividend. Also at the same time, they have to keep some amount of reserve also. This limits the capacity of the company to declare the dividend. So the legal constraints or the provisions of the Companies Act also interfere in the issue of dividend to the shareholder. So my dear friends, these are the important decisions, three important decisions taken by the finance manager: investment decision, financing decision and dividend decision. Very important area. Every year there will be one question related to the factors related to maybe dividend decision or capital budgeting decision or the financing decision. Hope this video is very useful for you, and any doubts you please go through my comment box and I will give you the response. So thank you for your continuous support. Thank you so much.